Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Psychomania. Today in this video I will be covering how psychology is considered as a science. So without further ado, let's get started. First, let us take a look at the definition of science. Science is a systematized body of knowledge gathered through carefully observing and measuring events. Science is an approach to knowledge based on systematic observation. So, we can say that the aim of science is to classify, understand, and unify the objects and phenomena of the material world. By the combination of exact and proper observation and experimentation, logic, and intuition, scientists try to understand the rules that govern all levels of natural universe. Let us take a look at the characteristics of science. First is empirical observation. So for psychology to be considered as science, it has to be empirical in nature, which means that it has to be based upon experiments and observations and not only on the arguments, beliefs, and opinion. Second is systematic approach and theory. Now the data that has been collected from observations and experiments, they are important in science, but if they want to make some sense, they need to be ordered in some or the other way. So scientists try to jot them down into limited number of principles which will summarize the data economically. Third is measurement. It is a very important aspect of sciences, that is to define the gathered data in the terms of numbers. Okay, so it means that assigning numbers to objects or events according to certain rules, for example in physics. Then last is definition of terms. Careful definition of terms is very important to clear the thinking in science. Okay, the procedures that are used in psychology to define concepts by relating them to observable behavior. When we define a concept operationally, we define it in terms of measurable and observable operations. So defining the terms is very important in science. Same is in the case of psychology. All these qualities need to be present in psychology also. So psychology is categorized as the youngest group of scientific inquiry, known as the social or behavioral sciences. Now we have the principles of critical thinking. First of all, let us understand what is critical thinking. Critical thinking means to reason, judgment, and well thought out judgments regarding any topic that we want to look at. So, what are the principles of critical thinking? First is to be skeptical, which means to keep an open mind. For example, during the voting system, when politicians try to persuade us with their proposals, we cannot just straightly trust anything that they're saying and put our valuable votes in their favor. Rather, we have to search for the truth, look for the evidence. So that is called being skeptical. Second is to examine definition of terms. Yes, to examine the definition of terms for real meaning is very important, because certain terms sound true in one sense and not true in another sense. So examining the real sense of definition is important. Then we have examine the assumptions or premise of argument. Now let us consider the statement that it is not always necessary to gather all type of information about human behavior from the animals. Now one premise can be in the favor of the argument that human beings are not animals, but we know the fact that human beings are social animals. Then we have to be cautious from drawing conclusions from evidence. Yes, sometimes the eyewitnessing or sometimes the evidence that we have may not be the correct explanation of the consequence or of the incidents. For example, we see a driver who was drunk and then he met with an accident. We are very quick to judge that the accident might have happened due to his drinking, but there can be multiple reasons at the background also, like a bad road or maybe traffic. So not to be too quick to judge. Then we have consider alternative interpretations of research evidence. Yes, though research questions and though research findings are accepted without too much questioning, but there is possibility that different researchers have different interpretations. For example, in the case of statement that frustration leads to aggression, but it is not necessary that all the frustrated people behave aggressively, or aggression is always due to frustration. Then we have do not oversimplify. Yes, sometimes we need to consider that the fact that human behavior is actually complex in many ways. So, just to oversimplify, or just to simply state anything, or just to simply draw any conclusion, come to any conclusion, this should be avoided. Then we have do not overgeneralize. Yes, whatever we find, whatever we learn, we should generalize. We obviously we do researches, we try to generalize things, but not overgeneralizing. Then we have apply critical thinking to all areas of life. This is a general rule, yes, not only in the sciences or in the studies or in the research, but in general life also we need to apply this quality of critical thinking. Here we have some very important tasks of psychology that must be understood. So first is, as psychology is a science of behavior, so it should observe, try to investigate and identify factors which impact behavior, and also assess their relative influences. It must investigate what is the role of each of these factors separately and also together in producing similarities and differences in behavior. Then, whatever these investigations will find out, based on those findings, psychology should also arrive at generalizations in the form of theories, principles and laws which will explain the similarities as well as the differences in behavior. Then it should also explain the complementary functions of factors, yes, and what are the processes, and help in generating similarities and differences among people. Now behavior is purposive, as we have known in earlier slides. I'll be sharing the link to my previous videos in the description. Now as the behavior is purposive, now psychology must investigate the nature, kind and number of purposes, what are their origins and how they develop, and what is the relationship among them. Now some behavior are changeable, so since they're changeable, psychology should also study and explain the nature of those changes, what is the process that govern those changes. Then which change in the behavior are to be understood properly, how are they stable, and consistency, how they have the quality of consistency in behavior, that is also very important to be known. And then very important aspect is to understand that how are these behaviors, changes, stabilities, similarities, differences, how are they organized, how are they integrated to produce both generality and uniqueness in behavior. So that's all for today, guys. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please hit a like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications of my latest updates. Thank you. Bye bye.